Thank you for taking some time for yourself. And before you begin this wonderful experience, I wonder if you can close your eyes and give yourself permission for a moment to leave behind floods, fires, the war in Ukraine, the pandemic. And if you could take a deep breath in and a relaxing breath out. And I'm curious if you can become aware of the impulse of your breath, breathing in and breathing out deeper into this experience. And I don't know if you will begin to really enjoy the sensation of impulsive relaxation. The impulse to blink, the impulse to think, and so much of life we are controlled by impulses we simply don't consciously control. And you don't have to listen to the sound of my voice, because your subconscious mind will be listening and do something wonderful for you a little later on. And I wonder if you can begin to focus on what's right about you. And you can relax the right side of your body or the left. Relax your head, shoulders, neck, tummy, legs, toes. Face muscles relax. And about a month ago here in Sydney, Australia, there was a bit of a storm. One of those end of summer storms that are typical for this time of year. The hot air of the earth sucking up the moisture. The raindrops attempted to fall, but were sucked back up into the extremely cold areas of the atmosphere. And the rain fell in the form of hail. And it reminds me of Masaru Emoto's experiment on water. He would arrange glasses of water and have people pray or meditate or play music on this water, and each sample of water a different emotion, a different set of words. And the water would be frozen and looked at under a microscope. And the water that was played heavy metal music looked like a storm. And the water for compassion, a star so perfect it was almost a snowflake. And the water that was played the song Imagine by John Lennon looked like a perfect six-leaved clover. And the water that listened to Amazing Grace, an expanding snowflake. And I'm curious if your body was vibrating now, which it is at some atomic level. I wonder what shape it will be. And I'm not sure you're aware how in harmony you are. Whether you're playing life at a fast or slow tempo, the pulse of your movements, words, your momentum to observing the seasons, or your piercing moments of insight. No one will ever have the same level of harmony as you. That's how special you are. And out of the trillions of cells that make you, just like the computer hardware, there is the software that tells the hardware what to do. And the electrical system that gives the power to make all of it work. And you and your senses processing all the information received by your cells from your environment. Internally, your perception of your environment, your spiritual connections, your emotional balance of health, and overall the effects of anger are enormous, and on the extreme end, it can lead to stormy relationships, crime, divorce, poor working conditions, poor physical health, headaches, hypertension, GI disturbances, emotional disorders. And some people try colour therapy to relieve anger or start a hostility journal, entering every time they are hostile and reflect. And others try and eat their way away from anger, feeding their emotions with whole foods. And maybe it is emotions are contagious. Our brains release electrochemical molecules. The impact of feeding your body with the right or wrong nutrition can impact at the subatomic level, atomic, electric and molecular level. Impulses for disruption or ease or dis-ease. Impulses of health and energy. Some clients suffering from anger, not only try and eat the rainbow of foods, they focus on the colours blue and green. Green symbolises growth, harmony, freshness, can correspond with safety. It is the most restful colour on the eye. And some say it can improve vision. And blue is colour of the sky and sea. Depth, stability. Blue can slow down the metabolism, have a calming effect, encourage a sense of being understood by others, create a pleasure in exchanging ideas with others. And yesterday I attended a course with one of the masters of NLP, Robert Dilts, and he had just given a talk on resilience to 50 psychologists working in Ukraine. And he was explaining that some are refugees, some believe they're serving something greater than themselves, and some are firmly refusing to leave because they identify with being Ukrainian. So why would they go anywhere else? But I don't know if you are in a leadership position. And there were over 100 of us attending this online talk. And in moments of crisis, the nervous system can switch off. We can lose focus. Our rational brain can disappear. And we need to switch our brain back on. Slow down. Pause. Breathe. And center our energy. When Robert Dilts refers to centering your energy, he is referring to the martial arts world of Aikido. When you move your center of energy very low in your body, so no one can push you over. And maybe you are familiar with the martial arts joke. How low can you go? And if you were to observe ballerinas that spend their lives trying to push the ground away with their long, strong, graceful legs, and when they leap or pirouette, kuru or bure, on the very tips of their toes, pushing the ground away. Sometimes with strength, sometimes with containment, a contained, refined force of elegance. And there are two ways you can experience anger One is you stub your toe on the carpet. You're angry at yourself. Or you blame the carpet or the person who put the carpet there. And the easiest way to allow anger to travel from 1 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 is to blame the person who put the carpet there and everyone that helped them put the carpet there, the type of carpet, how much the carpet cost, the country the carpet was from, and the technical term for doing this is external locus of control. And it reminds me of a great story from George Burns' book, 101 Healing Stories. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was an island where all the human attributes lived. On the island lived optimism, pessimism, knowledge, prosperity, vanity, and compassion. One day it was announced the island was sinking. Most of them had boats, but Compassion was not prepared. She had probably lent her boat or given it to someone else years ago. And Prosperity was casting off from the pier in front of his mansion. His boat was grand, equipped with all the latest technology. Compassion asked if she could travel with Prosperity. And he explained his boat was full. He had spent days packing it with gold and silver, antique furniture, and the art collection. And Compassion asked Vanity, who was passing by, if she could help her. Vanity explained she was wet and dirty, and she would make a mess on her clean decks. So Compassion asked Pessimism if he could help her, and he explained the boat was too heavy, the water was too cold, they hadn't given enough warning. The island shouldn't have been sinking, and he continued that Compassion's selfless caring would have made him feel more guilty and miserable. Imagine if Compassion drowned, how would that make him feel? And Optimism was one of the last to leave the island. She hadn't believed all that stuff about the island sinking. Someone surely would have fixed it before it sunk. Eventually, Compassion heard someone say, "I will take you." And she was so tired and weary that she curled up in the boat and fell asleep. When she finally got ashore and met Knowledge, she asked, "Who was it that helped me?" "It was Time," answered Knowledge. "Why would Time help me when no one else did?" Knowledge smiled and answered, "Because only Time is capable of understanding how great compassion is." And what clients don't like most about anger is it just comes over them. There's no time to think and create foresight, or to reflect in hindsight. No time to think of the consequences of their action. And isn't it wonderful to know there are leaders around the world switching their brains back on with slow down, pause, breathe, center your energy. Whether they are in the middle of a pandemic, a war, a flood in Australia, a migrant crisis in Europe, fire or snow in the United States. And I'm not sure the last time someone reminded you how graceful you are, weeding through life's baloney, and you've managed to slow down your breath, heart rate, blood pressure, without me asking that of you. That's how special you are. And when you're ready to orient yourself back to your external world, you can take a few deep breaths, stretch out, wriggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.